Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring ORRY in our top left corner, playing our yellow Zerg, and in the bottom right, the green Zerg is Gojira. Both players are in the GameFAQS tourney currently going on, hosted by Bone Carlos. We're on Ohana, which means that this is the first matchup in the series, the first tier. Second tier is best of 3, but the first series is only best of 1s, and it has to be done on Ohana, which is gravy. Gojira is actually in Diamond, and ORRY is in Platinum. So a bit of a skill difference, but it's not that hard to go from one to the other, especially if you're near the bottom. So I expect there's going to be a great game. And you know what? ZVZ is very hectic as things are. It relies on a lot of micro, and micro is a place where you can really, up your game. If you're really good at micro and you're in Platinum, maybe you're just not good at macro, and you let some games get ahead of you. Ain't no thing. And Ohana really kind of favors macro-based play. You've got a small ramp leading down into the natural, which is easy to take, easy to hold, because you have the secondary pathway off to the third, blocked by some destructible debris, and you have a very large ramp leading down into the common ground, but the common ground's really cut up. Doesn't really favor huge armies, or if the huge armies do move out, they don't really have to worry too much about surrounds, which is Zerg base's play main forte. We've already gotten to the 16 supply. It looks like ORRY is prepping to throw down his hatchery at the same time Gojira has thrown down his, so this is that macro-based play I was talking about. No early pool out of anybody. We're way past that point, but we're also past the standard pool timing for ORRY. He's grabbing an extractor instead. Probably going to see a pool in the next 20 seconds or so. Hey, I guess this guy's going to be a pool. There he goes. That's great. And Gojira's grabbing his pool too, with that extractor coming up just a little bit behind ORRY's. Not a big difference right there, really. You only want to get 100 gas by the time the pool pops, so you can get speed down right away. Ohana really relying on that speed because there's such a huge, long walk to the opponent's base, and whoever gets speedlings out first will have speedlings in the opponent's mineral lines first, and there you go. And that's basically the only difference we're talking about, is 20 gas for ORRY's favor over Gojira. And remember, Gojira got his hatchery down first, so it'll be popping just a couple of seconds before ORRY's. But again, this is the game of seconds. ZVZ above everything else. Basically, one drone is all it takes for you to lose a match. So if you're behind by a couple of seconds, that can be huge and far-reaching consequences later on. This is a nice play by ORRY, leaving just a single drone in that extractor so that he's continually getting gas and can be working for that next 100 gas, which he'll spend on switching his hatchery over to the lair. Keep an eye out for that. Let me see. Gojira has both of his queens on the way. They're not stacked up, meaning that his larva injects aren't going to be on top of each other. Let me see if ORRY did that. He did not either, but ORRY's is a little bit closer than Gojira's. Basically, it's just a macro mechanic that makes it so that you can control your larva injects in one sweep rather than having to come back every 7 seconds. You have to only come back every 15 or something like that. I don't really know the specifics on if it actually saves time or not. I know it helps me whenever I play, and I'm very cranky whenever I can't do it because of harassment or something like that. Baneling nest being built. This is something that's going to make ORRY pretty cranky. Baneling's incredibly powerful in the ZVZ matchup, especially if you can get him into the mineral line quickly. But a good answer to that is the Roach Warren, which ORRY has down, and an Evo chamber, I guess maybe just in case there's airborne shenanigans, or if he wants to control the upgrade scheme of things. He's got his drones back on gas. He hasn't spent that gas to get the hatchery into a lair, so that's probably what he's thinking about doing. Get some upgrades out, maybe ground-based attack, to make his roaches even more potent against the banelings and zerglings we're going to be seeing out of Gojira. Gojira has thrown down a spine crawler, which tells me he's going to be a little bit more defensive. Placement of the banelings controlling his ramp. He really wants to take this into the mid to late game place, is what I'm saying right here. It's just by morphing in 2 banelings. He's not making a rush. He's not going to try to get in to the main base for ORRY and actually do some damage there. Really, he's just trying to buy time so he can get up to the tech that he really wants to get up, and I wonder what that tech's going to be. Maybe roaches. He's got another roach. He's got a roach warren coming down and another extractor. No extractor at the minerals, so at the natural expand. Whereas ORRY has gotten his third gas up, rather being built. 3 gases total now. What's he going to spend all that gas on? He's not really banking it. I mean, he spent 100 for the range. It is 100, right? 150, whatever. 150 for the range, and now he's just going to start banking gas. I wonder what he's going to spend that for with 4 gas down. That could be an airbase play. It could be just infestors. You want to get 4 gas geysers eventually, but usually it's after you've thrown down your third, unless you're trying for some sort of 2-base timing attack. Could be that roach warren. Might be an indicator of what type of timing attack ORRY is intending. We'll have to keep an eye out on those roach numbers. There's no roaches out right now. No, there are not. Ooh. That's a wide harvester count difference right there. It's 36 to 45. You can tell in the economy. Look at all those minerals that Gojira does not have because he's fallen so far behind ORRY. ORRY also is mining off of only 1 of his gas geysers. No, 2. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, that's why he's so far ahead in that gas income. Is he's running off of all 4 of them. I got confused. Slightly less statistic. I'm not gonna lie. These roaches are going to town on those destructible debris. Probably going to be making motions like he wants to get in on the real estate of a 3rd base. It looks like Gojira's finally catching up on that gas income. He's got all 4 of his readily mining. Dual Evo chambers, that's where all that gas is going to go. Layer being warped in for Gojira. ORRY already there, probably going to be spending some money on getting the roach speed eventually. Oh, but he's going roach and hydra. The same time, ORRY's going to be making motions like he wants to poke at the front door. Going to find some staunch defenses already in place though. 3 spine crawlers. That queen gets focused down instantly. Baneley not going to be very helpful, but the roaches should be able to take some damage. And remember, the spines do plus damage against armored units, which those roaches definitely count. None of the spine crawlers go down. Several of the roaches go down as they approach the mineral line, but now all of a sudden the roaches have gotten behind the mineral line, only having to deal with a spattering of roaches coming out of Gojira's base. Eventually Gojira is going to have enough roaches to deal with this though, and with no upgrade advantage in Gojira's favor, ORRY is going to be very cost effective in this attack. However, no drones have gone down, so no economic damage has been done. All ORRY succeeded in doing was killing every one of his units and forcing Gojira to spend a bunch of money on getting roaches. However, that did buy time for ORRY to get up his 3rd base. It's going to be finishing in just a couple seconds, and both of his gas are being built. Another wave of roaches. I don't know how wise this is. I really feel like ORRY should be sitting back and macroing on that 3rd, maybe poking down at the 3rd to ensure that Gojira hasn't gotten in, and it looks like he's just now throwing the hatchery down. But instead, ORRY's going to be making motions like he wants to attack the natural, which is a mistake. Okay, good. No, don't go that way. Oh man, he's poking again at the front door. It's a huge number of roaches, but he's basically evenly matched in as far as roach count goes with Gojira. It's 15 to 15 right now. And with those spines there, ORRY was just going to lose quite a lot of money. You can see that the resources tab is pretty much neck and neck, but a lot of that is to do with the roaches going down and not really doing much else besides forcing Gojira to buy a bunch of roaches, maybe delaying that 3rd. But if ORRY had decided to attack the 3rd, he would have focused all these roaches out into the middle field. Remember, he has an upgrade advantage over Gojira, and he definitely would have won, or at least managed to take down the hatchery, forcing a cancel. With all 6 of the geysers up, it looks like ORRY's teching even higher. He's got that infestor pit out, he's got those hydras out, and he's got groove spine already finished from the lair tech, so he's going to be factoring in plenty more DPS from those hydras. And then with the infestors there to split up and contain this roach army from Gojira, I really don't see how successful this push can be, especially with the creep attaching the main army, or the natural, to this 3rd. But all those roaches get right up to the 3rd, not being scouted by any of the overlords, none placed on the mini-map. Man, that's so low health. Those roaches absolutely going to town on that hatchery, succeeding in taking it down. All these roaches should go down. Only a handful escape. Oh, if that, turning to fight one last time. Only 2 of them making it out. But the last of the army, even though it makes the units lost tab look like it's heavily in ORRY's favor. In reality, he's losing a lot of money by not being able to mine off of that third. At the same time, Gojira has succeeded in taking his third. He's got it saturated mildly, and even though there is a harvester deficit in the favor of ORRY, the income shows you that Gojira is actually ahead by being able to mine off of so many different bases. A nice adjustment here from ORRY, getting an overlord placed so that he could have seen that aggression coming out. Maybe wants another one placed right here, maybe up on this wall, just so that he can see if an attack like this was coming from Gojira's side of things. But instead, ORRY pushing out with a very intimidating army. Quite a lot of Hydras, Zerglings, and Roaches mixed in there. A lot of Infestors too. I think Gojira is going to be in trouble in a couple of seconds. 1-1 versus 2-0. I'm going to go with ORRY on this one. I think he's got a much more intimidating army. Only one Spine Crawler down at the third. Third's definitely going to fall. Destructible Debris have not been taken out at that third. Oh, a couple of the Hydras, very delicate, are going to get caught off guard by those Roaches. You see them queuing up the attacks on the delicate Hydras, swinging in from the north side. Those Hydras really want Roaches in front of them. Third goes down for Gojira, and Gojira having to GG out. He still had plenty of money. I mean, basically all ORRY did was do what Gojira did, which is take out the expansion. Yeah, Gojira does not have a standing army worth a crap. He's got 2 Roaches versus the 28 that exist down in ORRY's main. And he only has a single Spine Crawler up at the natural. Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that ORRY was just going to steamroll into the main base of Gojira once he was done, and there wasn't much that Gojira could afford to get out at the time. A lot of gas saved up, but I don't know if he's got an Infestor, but he does have an Infestor. Some Infestors could have helped. Probably wouldn't have saved him, so that's it. Gojira goes down to the losers bracket. ORRY moves on to the second round in the winners. I'll be keeping an eye out for their games. I'll be keeping an eye out for you. If you guys have a game you want me to cast, you could PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you guys later. I am Big and Scary.